What's going on, YouTube people? Welcome back to the channel. A big thank you for joining me on part 22 of I Have Taken Solihull Moors to the Premier League. If you've been following the story so far, you will know that I was on a mission to get Solihull Moors all the way into the Premier League, and in the last episode we managed to do it. We went up from the Championship in second place, finishing as runners-up to Brighton, but still having enough points to make our way to the Premier League for the first time with Solihull Moors. That episode was all the way back in game on the 5th of May 2029. In today's episode we are pushed forwards to the 18th of August 2029. We are on the eve of our debut Premier League season. I'm going to run you through everything that has happened at the club since that last episode. We're going to show you players that have come in, players that have gone out, how we have performed in the pre-season, also what finances are left and what the club vision looks like for a season in the Premier League. So let's kick off as always with the transfers. We go to transfer history, just have a quick look at the end of the previous season to see if we did get any players in. So we did indeed sign some players at the end of the previous season, so we're going to kick off by showing you those. The first of which was Adam Stride. He has come to us from Manchester United and we have loaned him straight out to Woking. He's a free transfer, 18 years old, one probably for the future. If it doesn't work out, he's already valued at up to £550,000. So hopefully getting him some game time will improve him. Let's go back and look at the next ones because there was a few others here. So Cole McKinnon has come in on a free transfer. He was playing up in Scotland for Rangers, then he played for Orange County and then Wraith. He's a solid midfield player who can also cover at right back, so it's one of those kind of utility players that can do a number of jobs in a number of positions. So fingers crossed he can come in and do a job for us either in midfield or at right back. The next player to show you is Raul. He's from Elche. We paid £1.5 million for him. He's a Spanish under-19s international and he looks absolutely fantastic. Now he can play as a right winger, even though we don't play with one. We could try and train him on the left wing. It's not too dissimilar, but I think where we'll be playing him is through the middle. When you look at his stats, he's fantastic for the money that we paid. Actually went down the route of looking at the next gen top 50 players, and we were picking up the ones that were within our price range who would actually come to the club. And at the age of 20, 6'1", he has pace of 14, acceleration of 13, agility of 19. He has good off the ball, teamwork, work rate, technique. But look at those stats at the top of the technicals: 12 crossing, 17 dribbling, 14 finishing, 15 first touch. This is going to be a player who is an absolute gem. And just a quick giveaway, he scored 5 goals in 3 pre-season games, so looking like the real deal already. The next player to come into the club was Derry John Doy. He come from Blackburn for £725,000, predominantly a right back, but also can play as a centre back. At 6'2", he should be capable of playing there, and also can play as a holding defensive midfielder. Looking at some of his stats: good stamina, pace, jumping reach, acceleration, good passing, tackling, teamwork, determination of 12, bravery of 16. So another one who comes in for a moderate fee, and it's already valued at 5.4 to 6.2 million pounds. Previously was at Blackburn, Stevenage, QPR and Barnsley, so knows some of the lower leagues, well, the Championship and League One, quite well, and then hopefully can make that step up into the Premier League when he's needed. Moving on to the current season's transfers, so after that June the 9th transfer rollover, when we go into the new season, we paid £10 million for David Martinez. He has come from Talleres in Argentina, previously played for River Plate and Defensa y Justicia. He's a Paraguayan, I think that is. Yeah, Paraguayan. He's on £33,000 a week, has made 48 appearances for the Paraguay national team, plays predominantly as a left back, can also play as a centre back, 6 foot tall. He's one that we wanted as a bit of experience. I think can steady us at the back. Like I said in the previous episode, Premier League is all about survival, and to survive I think you need decent defenders. So even if it doesn't work out, he's valued around the price that I think is good value. We can always move him on for roughly the same if is necessary. And then moving on to Matthias Nora. He is a right back or centre back, another defender for only 5'10", but he's another one that's come off of the next gen list. And look what has happened already. So what was the final fee that we paid for him? 4.9 rising to 5 million. And look at what he's valued now, 27 to 33 million pounds. He's a player who I think he's going to develop really, really quickly. Just 18 years old, but already showing signs of being a fantastic defender. 13 tackling, 12 marking, 18 bravery, 16 determination, 16 teamwork. Decent set of physical stats. I think he could be a future star. And then the final player to come in was Danilo Giulietti. He is a midfielder who can play in the centre or as an attacking midfielder. At the age of 20, valued at 15.5 to 18 million pounds. He's going to be absolutely fantastic. We picked him up from Darmstadt. Already at the age of 20, he has first touch of 16, technique 17, determination of 18. He's going to go on to be a future star. In terms of players that have left the club, let's just have a quick look at the end of season. We had quite a few players leave on free transfer. So Cameron Plain went to Blackburn. Adam Stride went out on loan to Woking. David Hodges left the club as well. And then for the current season, so it's again mainly frees or loans. We haven't brought too much money back into the club, and we had that war chest to spend, and was umming and ahhing whether we were going to spend it or not, but we ended up spending big. But Paul Clark went on a free. Tom Long and Oliver Hall are out on loan. Aidan Hale left to go to Chesterfield for 50,000. Josh Rogers, Alex Callahan and Brandon Hunter all went out on loan, and then Dal Shelton went out on loan also. So with that transfer business done, let's have a look at the finances. So we still have 13 million in the bank, and despite the fact that in the last video we had an overall balance of something like £2 million, but there was 30 available to spend, we have actually managed to balance the books quite nicely, and the club currently sit on an overall balance of 1.4 million, even though they're still giving us 13.6 to spend. So we are well within our transfer budget. And the other mad thing is our wage budget has been increased to 509,000, and we're spending 410,000 of that. So we're clear of both of those budgets. In terms of the club vision then, let's look what they expect. So our job security is only secure, back to a B+ at the start of the season. Work within the wage budget is fine. Minimum 3-year contracts for first team players. Now we are a Premier League team. The team do not want to be losing players on free transfers, and they want to tie them down to long-term deals. 5-year plan. Attempt to avoid relegation from the Premier League. That is going to be the big one. It's going to be difficult first time of asking, but we're going to give it a good go, and we're going to see where we can go in terms of this adventure. Be competitive in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, not a problem. Not too sure how much emphasis we'll put on the Carabao Cup. Wouldn't mind a good FA Cup run. In terms of the board and the board cultures, they still want possession football, still want attacking football, entertaining, high tempo and set pieces. Even though the expectation level of being promoted has gone up, it doesn't seem that the board have tempered their expectations of us as a team. Highlights in the off-season. Delighted with the financial aspect of the Carl McKinnon signing, the Raul signing and Matthias Noura signing. In terms of criticisms, disappointed in the finances to loan out Josh Rogers. Disappointed with Aidan Hale's sale finances, and David Martinez's finances in that one too. Looking at supporters, B+ there, pretty much the same supporter culture, and luckily for us, they're happy with the departure of Cameron Plain, fairly pleased with the quality of the Gegenpress style, and they're pleased with Adam Stride. So, looking pretty supportive from the supporters at this time, and that is only a good thing. So let's move on to the schedule and see how we have got on in the pre-season, and we did very well. So we started off against SK Beveren. We managed to beat them 3-2 with Martinez, Cole McKinnon and Rowell scoring the goals there. Bray Wanderers, we beat them 6-0 in that friendly, with Springett scoring 3 and Rowell scoring a hat-trick. St Moctas, we beat them 7-0. Lonergan, Giulietti, Nora, Beveridge, Derry John Day and Darren Houston getting the goals. Longford beat them 3-0. Beveridge, Rowell and Iredale. And then Cardiff, we beat 4-2. Iredale, Lonergan and Vitor. Vitor actually managing to get his work permit sorted. We'll have a little look at that in just a second. And a 3-3 draw against Genoa, where Iredale was sent off in a pre-season friendly after he scored. Salas and Diallo getting the other goals there too. So, as I said, we are now building up to the Premier League season. Looking at the start here, we are in for a bumpy ride straight away. We've got Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, for Plymouth in the Carabao Cup, and then Chelsea. Ideally, I'm not expecting too much out of those games. It could be that after the first 4 league games we don't have a point, but certainly Leicester, Palace, Leeds, West Ham, Villa, we will be looking to pick up points, and then we go to Manchester City, which is going to be difficult. Let's have a little look at the squad. A few players that I actually want to show you. So, where is Paulo Vitor? So, he managed to get his work permit sorted. He spent that season on loan at Real Zaragoza, and he started to develop nicely. He's going to be challenging on the left-hand side going forwards into the new season. I think that he's really going to start to develop quickly once he gets in that first team and gets that experience. He's competing with Diallo and Springett for that position. We then have Tommy Lonergan, who again signed that deal just before we got promoted, thankfully. Hopefully he's going to have a good season. He's had a good start to pre-season. Whether that carries across into the Premier League, not too sure. Something strange happened with his 19 goals in the first half of last season, only 1 in the second half. So hopefully he gets a bit more consistent as we go along. Anybody else that we need to have a little look at? If we sort these by potential and just show you how good of a team we could possibly have if everybody comes good. So we've got players like Sean Larkin, Nora, Vitor, Rowell, Derry John Doy, Craig Hunt, Giulietti and Beveridge, all 5-star potentials. Then we've got Reese, Paul, Iredale, Lozano, Salas, all in and around the right areas. Then we've got O'Keefe, Williams Honeyman, Whitwell, Zach Orr, all on 4 stars. And then we start to see further on in that we are actually building a pretty good squad. But looking at some of the ages there, 18s, 19s, 20s, it's going to be difficult to have experience in the first team, which was another reason why we went and bought experienced defender David Martinez. And we've got Sol Bryn. They are now pretty much the elder statesman of the team. Unfortunately, Agbonta Homer's not going to get much game time. We do have a few unhappy players there, as you can see. Katakunia's not getting game time. Williams Honeyman wants a new deal because we just got promoted. Caden Rodney, I think, wants a new deal as well. Then you got Agbonta Homer and Bryn. Players that have been with the club pretty much for a few seasons now all want to be paid what the new guys are being paid, and it's pretty understandable, but it's one of those where I don't know if I want to burst the bank for those kinds of players. We go into the squad planner then and have a look at the assistant report. So it's showing up as this for our first team. It says it should be Bryn, Murphy, Martinez, Orr and O'Keefe, then Rodney, Doy, Tetek, Springett, Rowell and Beveridge. Not too sure I agree with that lineup altogether, but it's workable. It's not, I don't think it's our best 11 personally, but it's certainly one of the better combinations of players. Looking at the best 11 the other way, you've got Bryn, Murphy, Martinez, Orr, O'Keefe, Rodney, Doy, Tetek, Springett, Rowell and Beveridge. And then those purple players, Lozano, Pippin, Josh Rogers is out on loan again, Matthias Nora, Marsden, Waite, Williams Honeyman, Larkin, Paulo Vitor, Iredale and Kambala. So we are building a team that is going to be interchangeable with the youngsters, and we have some experience in the team as well. We've got players who've been at the club now for a while, like Springett. If we have a little look at him, he's played 128 times, scoring 15 goals from that left-hand side. As I said, I think he's a player who we can certainly have a look at in the first half of the season. Whether he's going to be with us long term, I'm not too sure, but he probably is worth it at the moment. His contract did go up to 21,000, so he's one of the higher earners at the club. So if he doesn't perform, he will probably be moved on pretty quickly. Again, we've got Alex Murphy now, who has played 118 times for the club. Wages have gone up to 16,000. Another one who might be in for replacing if some of the youngsters come good. Zach Orr, as I said, is definitely worth a look for the start of the Premier League campaign. 72 appearances now, 18 goals. Wages are up to £25,000 a week though. So those players who signed those new contracts at the end of the Championship season certainly shot themselves in the foot. Dejan Tetek is another one. His wages actually went up to £13,250 with the top flight bonus going on, or top flight increase going on. Now played 108 games. So we're building a good mixture of youth and experience, and hopefully that can give us a real shot at getting or staying in the Premier League at the first time of asking. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get on in the Premier League. Not too sure what to expect. I don't know if the squad is strong enough. Definitely we are young, so we could have a right go at some teams, and if we can get the development in, then there is every chance we will be a success. Certainly hitting the targets of staying in the Premier League. Going any further than that, it's going to take a while. Don't know how far we go into this before we say probably gone as far as we can, but we're going to just see where we go. This is one area I am really struggling to convince the board to put money in. As you might have seen a couple of episodes ago, we were in the middle of a takeover. That takeover fell through, and then we still can't get them to invest in the youth facilities or the training facilities or anything to do with that. They seem to think that putting money into the playing squad is far more important. I'm trying to convince them quite aggressively that we need better training facilities and youth facilities, but they seem to want to tell us to just get on with what we have. So that pretty much sums up the summer of 2029. There is still time in the transfer window, but we're not going to cover that today. In the next episode, we're going to push on to the 1st of January, see how we get on in the first part of the season, and show any of the transfer deadline signings in that episode. Got Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal to look forward to in the first 3 games of the season. I really do think it's going to be a fun journey into the unknown, but we are ready, we are prepared. Right then, if you are still with me at this point of the video and you're looking forward to the next part to see how we finally get on in the Premier League, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, or if you haven't done so already, please do that. It really helps the channel to grow. I cannot thank you all enough for doing it if you already have. The other thing is, before you leave the channel, there are other things here. We have FM24 content now coming out with players to watch, some Wonder Kids, save ideas. There's a whole host of FM23 content, tutorials, hints and tips, Wonder Kids, those kinds of videos. It's a little bit of something for everybody. But for this one, I'm going to leave it there. Come back and join me and see how we get on in the first half of our first ever Premier League campaign in the next video.